Hi guys, welcome back. We're finally getting into some new material. We are moving on to our third unit for sixth grade. We are now in what's called algebraic reasoning. And the first thing we're going to start off with is prime factorization. And we're going to go into some other things that involve factoring out numbers, simplifying them to make them shorter in our answers. So let's go ahead and start with some notes first. Share my screen, share. All right, notes on prime factorization. Let's see what I got for you. Next. All right, vocabulary. A prime number is a whole number that has exactly two factors, one and itself. So if you notice in the examples, I have the number two. The factors of two is one and two. Two times one is two. The factors of three, one and three. The factor of five, one and five. And the factor of seven, one and seven. Now, of course, there's more. All it's saying is in order to get this number by multiplying, you can only multiply one in itself to get these numbers, okay? The next one is a composite number. It is a primary number that is greater than one with more than two factors. And this is not just even numbers, okay? This is not just even numbers. Let's look at the examples I have here. The factors of four, you can do 1 times 4. You can do 2 times 2 to get 4. So you have 1, 2, and 4 as your factors. For the factors of 6, you can do 1, 2, 3, and 6. You can do 1 times 6. You can do 2 times 3. You can do 3 times 2 to get 6. All right, and then another one we have is 8. And then notice down here, 9 at the bottom is a factor. It's not an even number. You can do 1, 3, and 9 as their factors, okay? So it's not just even numbers that are composite. All right, prime factorization. Oh no, my thing keeps clicking. Sorry guys, I'm trying to move my face out the way. There we go. Prime factorization is when a composite number is written as a product of prime numbers. So for example, when we factor out 24, we get 6 times 4, which gives us 24. And we can factor that even further. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. So the factors of 24 are 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. If we multiply those numbers together, we will get 24. And I'm going to show you how to do this in just a moment. Okay. Factoring tree. These little lines are what we call the branches because each branch is leading to another number. And notice these circles. We call these the roots because this is where it ends or begins, okay? So I'm going to also show you this, factoring using a factor tree. And you've probably seen this before in elementary, but if not, don't worry, I'll show you how it works. All right, that is the end of our notes for prime factorization. Let me stop sharing the screen. I'm going to show you 3 examples, and then you're going to do some work on your own to show me that you understand what's going on here. So let me share my problems. Share. Make that bigger. Oh no, share. There we go. All right, so let's look at the first one. We're going to find the prime factorization of 48, okay? Now, when you're finding factors, it's like you're dividing or multiplying, however you want to look at it, but you're starting with 2 numbers that you can multiply to get to this number. And some prime numbers or composite numbers may have more than one way to do it. So let's look at it. 48, it's an even number, so I know I can multiply something by 2 to get 48. 2 times 24 gives me 48. Because I can only use a 1, 2 times 1 to get a 2, this has been factored as far as it can go. This number is prime. This one I can factor more because it's still even. 2 times 24, again, it's an even number, so I know 2 is in there. So what times 2 gives me 24? 2 times 12. Again, 2 is a prime number, so I'm going to circle it. This one can be factored some more. 2 times 6 gives me 12, or 3 times 4. Some of you might, 3 times 4. Okay, again, 2 is a prime number, so I'm going to circle it. This can be factored some more. 2 times 3 gives me 6. 2 is a prime number. 3 is also a prime number. The only way I can get 3 is if I multiply it by 1. So that means I'm done. So here are my factors for 48. All the circled numbers are the factors. So now I'm going to write it in factor form. I have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and then I have a times 3. Remember, in 6th grade, we no longer use x for multiplication. We use the dots. So the factors of 48 are 2, 2, 2, 2, and 3. Now, I'm going to show you that there's more than one way to factor a number, but you should still get the same factors if you did it correctly. So let's choose a different combination. So we did 2 times 24 to start. Let's do 4 times 12, okay? So this can go lower. I can do 2 times 2 to get 4. I know 2 is prime, so I'm going to go ahead and circle those. So this side of the tree is done. Over here, 2 times 6. I also could have did 3 times 4. 2 is a prime, so I'm going to circle it. 2 times 3 gives us 6. Here's a 2. Oh, and there's a 3. All of those are prime. So if I look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 2s and 1 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 2s and 1 3. So I used a different number to factor, but I still got the same factors as my final answer. Okay. All right, that was an even number. Let's try an odd number this time. They want the factors of 15. So remember, when I'm factoring, I'm trying to think of 2 numbers I can multiply that will give me this number. Well, I know that 3 times 5 gives me 15. 3 is already prime, and 5 is also prime. The only number I can multiply to get to a 5 is a 1. So these are prime now. So the factors of 15 are 3 and 5. They have no other factors. And you cannot use 1. Okay? Let's look at this last one. Prime factorization of 73. Now this one is a special situation here. There's nothing I can multiply to get 73 other than a 1. But we can't use 1 when we're factoring. So 73 has no factors. Okay? There's 0 factors for it. It is prime. Remember from our notes, if the only number is 1, then this number is prime. So that means this number is a composite number because it has more than one factor. And this one is definitely a composite number because it has more than one factor. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was our notes in your intro for how to factor using prime factorization. Now you're going to go to Schoology and do the assignment that I have in there for you, and I will see you tomorrow, and make sure if you have any questions to ask me. All right, guys, see you later.